What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Hot Take Tuesday. Episode 4 of Season 3 is officially here, ready to rock and roll. I already made this episode, but there was no sound. I uploaded it. It's still up. Gonna delete it, but unfortunately, I have to remake this. But almost an hour of talking down the drain. But lesson learned. I've been learning a lot of lessons. Been messing up the beginning of Hot Take Tuesday this season so far, but it's time to move on from that. We already did the giveaway last episode, so we won't be doing that again. LCCJS27, you have won. I messaged you, message me back with what you want. All right, let's get into it. So, Missred, Bengals won't make the playoffs. Oh boy. Are we pushing the panic button already on the Bengals? I mean, 0-3. Unfortunately, they lost 2 games in the AFC. And, of course, they just lost another game to the NFC now. So, better, 0-2 in the AFC than 0-3 in the AFC. And that is significant. And, fortunately, they didn't play any division games yet, which is good for them because I believe division record comes before conference record, even within the conference itself, not just the division. And then I think it's head-to-head. I could be wrong, but I think that's how the tiebreakers work, the order. But the Bengals not making the playoffs, man. I mean, that defense really has to figure things out. The defense has struggled. The offense struggled the first couple weeks. Now the offense seems like it picked it up last game. Now it's the defense that has to pick it up once again. I mean, the defense actually did pretty good the first 2 weeks. I can't actually talk bad about the defense the first 2 weeks. It was more so the offense that struggled a little bit, Offense really struggled versus the Patriots. The Patriots do have a good defense, fine. Chiefs, I guess they have a little bit better of a defense, more of a disappointing game. It was close, almost beat the Chiefs, didn't. And then the third game, your defense sucked, but then your offense was awesome. The Bengals have to try and put a full game together here, man. I mean, they have Joe Burrow. They have Jamar Chase. I like Yosivas, too. He has really been outstanding. Lights out. Great catches. Crucial player. I think he has 3 touchdowns in 3 games so far, so he's been a crucial player. But, the Bengals have too much firepower on offense to not make the playoffs. But at the same time, they're 0-3. Kind of fortunate that the rest of their division in the conference isn't as loaded and packed as it usually is. It feels like the AFC is a little more open towards the bottom of the wild card in a way. It feels like, you're going to get one winner from the AFC East. You're going to get, of course you're going to have one winner, of course, of the division, but then you're going to have a wild card team. It's either going to be the Jets or Bills that win the division. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be there at the end. I don't think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs this year. Not a great football team. I don't think they have enough firepower this year to, really make that big difference and be able to make that, to make the playoffs this year. But you look at the AFC South, probably just the Texans that are going to come out. Granted, they need to look a lot better than they did versus the Vikings. Maybe the Vikings are just that damn good of a football team. But the Bengals not making the playoffs, I mean, your best bet obviously would be with the win to the division. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen now. Are the Steelers too far? The Steelers at 3-0, good chance to go 4-0 against the Colts. Right, are the Steelers a little too far ahead? You're never too far ahead at 4-0, but it's a damn good start. And the Bengals cannot afford to go 0-4, but they're playing the Carolina Panthers. You lose to the Carolina Panthers this week, it's going to be worrisome. But they do have a pretty good stretch of teams that are beatable. You play the Chargers later on this season. We'll see how healthy they're going to be. Obviously, you still got to play the Ravens twice. You should beat the Browns twice. The Steelers, I could see them probably splitting with the Steelers, but are they going to win the division? I'm not sure. Considering you still play the Ravens and the Steelers twice, it's absolutely possible. We'll see if the Steelers, can continue to do what they're doing all season long. But the Bengals not making the playoffs, man, I'm going to go hot and say that's a little unlikely. The Bengals are such a good football team. They're just having a hard time putting it all together, and they have a good head coach. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. When you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, anything is possible. So the Bengals usually start slow, though. Remember that. The Bengals usually start slow. They will pick it up, and I think they will make the playoffs. So saying they're not going to make the playoffs, I'm going to give it hot and say, Yeah, I'm going to give it hot and say it's very unlikely that the Bengals miss the playoffs. Even though they're 0-3, they have a favorable schedule in some points. The division may not be as favorable, but you should have 2 wins versus the Browns. Hopefully, you can split against the Ravens and the Steelers. Maybe you could sneak out 2 against the Steelers or sneak out a sweep against the Ravens. I don't think so, but the possibility is there. They haven't played them yet, and we'll see as the season goes on if the Bengals are going to get better. I think they will. They always start slow, so I'm confident the Bengals will make the playoffs and they will figure it out sooner or later. Obviously they have an uphill battle to fight now, and it sucks when you have a season like that. When you have an uphill battle, you have to fight all season long. You get to the playoffs and you're kind of tired out and really like, ugh, it's kind of like the playoffs. It's not necessarily the playoffs on the rest of the way out for the Bengals. It's absolutely not. A lot of time left, but they keep losing. They go 0-4, 0-5. You may be starting to look at the playoffs like every week. You know what I'm saying? Like you lose one more game, it might be it. Obviously, 6 losses isn't it, but having to win that many in a row and win so many out of so many games, it's tough. And it wears a team down just doing that. And then making the playoffs, the team was worn down half the time at that point. So the Bengals not making the playoffs, I don't see them missing. Do I think they're going to make a deep run this year? I'm not sure. I think the Chiefs and the Bills are going to get the conference championship. We'll see how the seasons work, but I think that the Chiefs and the Bills will make the conference championship together once again. They just feel like the 2 best teams in the AFC. Maybe the Jets can change it up a little bit. I think they will. But I mean, you look at the West, you may have the Chargers coming out, so that might be the Chiefs are going to win that division. So you have the Chargers, you have the Jets or Bills in a wild card spot, and then you probably either have the Steelers, Ravens, or Bengals in that third spot. I don't think that any other team in the AFC South is going to be fighting for it. So yeah, I think the Bengals will be fine, but they're going to have to get it rolling soon, man. And you wait too long, and there's going to be issues. So, and it's going to be too difficult, too much to overcome. So, next up on the list, we have the Giants upset the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. This is a game that I'm excited to look through. I was really excited to be looking at it. Even when last week ended and I'm starting to look at next week's slate of games, I'm like, ooh, this Thursday night game is going to be a juicy one. It's going to be better than what people think. A lot of people underrating. A lot of people are underestimating the Giants right now. They have some really good pieces of their team. I like Brian Daboll. I don't like how he reacts to the reporters. I don't like how emotional he is with them. But the Giants upsetting the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football, I think it's a real possibility, man. I mean, the Cowboys have struggled to stop the run. They have one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. They actually do have the worst rushing defense. They've allowed the most rushing yards within the first 3 weeks, and considering the Colts gave up almost 500 within the first 2 weeks, I've seen it, man. You see the Colts stuff in the background. That's impressive to be worse than the Colts run defense right now, because the Colts run defense is horrendous. Now they kind of got fortunate against the Bears, but that's not the point. Besides that point, the Giants upsetting the Cowboys is very possible. That Giants defensive line is monstrous. That Giants defense is very good, and then their offense. The offense has a lot to be desired because of missed opportunities, I think. I think Devin Singletary and, I think he's an okay running back, but the offensive line doesn't give him any room to run. And that Dallas defensive line, I think they'll get going sooner or later, but I don't think it's going to be this game. I think, Daniel Jones is going to have a day running the football. I think that's going to open up things for Devin Singletary, which will then make passing the football easier to a guy like Malik Nabers, who's an absolute monster of a receiver. Then you still have Daniel Bellinger, a good tight end. You have, Wan'Dale Robinson is a beast. Love Wan'Dale Robinson. The Giants have, they actually have a good football team. Could Daniel Jones step up? Could Daniel Jones, he's pressured a lot on the offensive line, sucks, and I think Daniel Jones can be a good quarterback, but, he needs to step up. There are quarterbacks out there that play really well without an offensive line because they have so many damn good weapons, and the Giants have some weapons, not as many as, say, for the Bengals we just talked about, But the Giants absolutely have a chance to upset the Cowboys tonight Thursday night, whenever you're watching this. The Cowboys defense is not what it was last year. Don't get me wrong, it's a good defense, but it's not what it was last year. And then you look at the offense, it's not what it was last year. This offense is kind of like Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. That's kind of all I see. And the Giants are going to limit that. The Giants are going to see that. They're going to know how to stop that. And they're going to pressure Dak Prescott all day long. Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau. Who's the other guy missing? They got from the Panthers. Brian Burns. They have so many good guys in that defensive line. They have some good linebackers. Bobby Okereke, he's been a beast for them. They have good safeties. Jason Pinnock has been good. Deontay Banks. They have so many good football players. It's kind of upsetting to see, it kind of be thrown away, by quarterback play has been good in the offensive line. The Giants can get some good quarterback play in there next year, a better offensive line. This Giants football team could be in the running to win the division. I think they could be a sneaky option to win the division this year if Daniel Jones can figure something out. I mean, we've seen Daniel Jones play good football, but the offensive line sucks too. So the offensive line isn't helping him. But if you look at this football team, they are very underrated. They can stop the run too. They are very good at stopping the run. And let's look at their first couple of weeks. And man, I mean, you played the Vikings, but at first we're like, wow, the Giants are really bad. But then a couple weeks later, look at the Vikings are smoking the Texans and beating the Niners. So, I mean, and then the Giants, they looked a lot better in week 2. If they had a kicker, they would have won that game against the Commanders, and they would be 2-1 and on top of the AFC or the NFC East. The Giants are a very underrated football club. Unfortunately, they are held back by quarterback play and offensive line play. Two things that you really cannot afford to not be good. You could have everything else damn near perfect, but if you don't have an offensive line and you don't have a quarterback, you're not going anywhere. But I do think that the Giants are going to upset the Cowboys tonight regardless. I think Daniel Jones has a good night running the football, opens things up for Devin Singletary, which then is going to open up the passing game. And, regardless if the passing game is open or not, Malik nabers is going to have a night. But Giants upsetting the Cowboys, man, I'm going to go cool. I'm going to say it's likely. I think there's a good shot the Giants surprise a lot of people. And people start talking about this Giants team more after this week. So, Giants upsetting the Cowboys, very possible in my eyes. Next up from SilverSabs, just got done talking about this guy, Malik Nabers. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, right now, Malik Nabers is just a bigger version of Antonio Brown. And that may sound crazy because Antonio Brown is a generational player, just really good at route running, but Malik Nabers is too. Malik Nabers has good hands. His route running is insane. And you want to know what really reminds me of Malik Nabers when I'm watching Malik Nabers and when I watch Antonio Brown play? When Malik Nabers cuts and changes direction, he speeds up. And that's what Antonio Brown did. And that's why Antonio Brown got so much separation. That's why AB was so good. When he went through cuts, he kind of got faster, which is so weird, and that is so difficult to defend. You have to be lightning quick if you want any shot. You just got to watch his game and know what he likes to do. You got to really be, some of the best defenders in the league to know and be able to cover Malik Nabers. He's going to be good. He's going to be one of the better receivers in the league in about a year, 2 years. He's going to be one of the better receivers. I could see it being Jamar Chase, Jefferson, and Malik Nabers. I can see it. Honestly, I can see these three guys being the best receivers in the league. That is how highly I think of Malik Nabers. Okay? You drafted number 8 for a reason. But, could he cook Dallas's defense with 150 yards and at least 1 TD? Absolutely. I'm not talking trash on Trayvon Diggs. I'm not talking trash in this Dallas defense, but Trayvon Diggs does allow a lot of yards, man. He likes to jump things. He's very aggressive, and that's why he allows a lot of yards, because of his play style. And Malik Nabers is going to make him pay. Malik Nabers, great for the catch, too. I didn't mention that. He is phenomenal at the catch, and he's a really good blocker. He's a bigger version of Antonio Brown. Nabers is a beast. But Nabers getting 150 yards and 1 touchdown with a very aggressive cornerback on the opposite side of him, just always trying to get in interceptions. Malik Nabers is such a good route runner. All those double moves, all those cuts, it doesn't matter what it is. Unless Trayvon Diggs is right there with him, Nabers is going to beat him. And Nabers is going to have a big day. And that is going to be a big reason why I almost said Dallas Cowboys beat the Giants, but the Giants upset the Dallas Cowboys. But Malik Nabers will cook the Dallas defense, and people will see. It's a primetime game. People will see how talented Malik Nabers is. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go warm though. I know I just said it's very likely, but at the same time, that's a lot of yards. Quarterback play kind of stinks. Offensive line kind of stinks, but Malik Nabers you can still get the ball to him quick and he'll make a couple of plays, a couple guys miss. But Nabers is absolutely capable of, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it this week with Daniel Jones, and I think Jones is going to be pressured a bit because of how bad the offensive line is. So I'm going to go warm and say it's a little unlikely, even though I just wanted a huge rant saying how good he is, and he is really good, man. He's very good. But, all right, hopeful Colts fan. The Colts defense gets 3 sacks against the Steelers at Lucas Oil Stadium. I don't know about this one. I don't know if they get 3 sacks, man. They're so injury riddled. We don't have the injury report yet, but I know Kwity Paye went down last week. DeForest Buckner went down. Samson Ebukam was down at the beginning of the season. It was Latu and Tyquan Lewis on the edge, which was okay, and Grove in the middle, Grove and Taven Bryan. That's not a great defensive line combination. It's okay, but unfortunately before the season, I was looking at this Colts defensive line and like, wow, I thought it was really talented. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries, injury bugs. So now they're stinking it up. Have been horrible against the run. They did pretty good against the Bears, but why is it important? Because Justin Fields is going to have all day long to throw. He's going to have all day long. That Steelers offensive line is pretty damn good. So you got to respect Justin Fields wanting to run the football, so you need to stay disciplined in your rushing lanes, and that's just going to make it difficult. That's going to make it even more difficult for the secondary, which is already beat up. Kenny Moore, I know he's hurt now. DeLis Flowers, he wasn't that great. And Kenny Moore hasn't been playing good this season either. He's been dog crap. And, he got paid and he's been playing like crap. The Colts defense gets 3 sacks, against the Steelers with that bad secondary and how injured it is and how bad it was already. Our secondary is like practice squad players. If they go to any other team, they're practice squad players. Maybe not Jalen Jones, not Kenny Moore, but Jalen Jones, he's been okay. He makes a lot of really bad plays, and I think for the amount of bad plays he makes, that outweighs the good, but Jalen Jones does do some good. He's a ball hawk, and maybe Jones can be an okay number 2, but not a number 1. But the Colts defense getting 3 sacks against the Steelers, and on top of that, Justin Fields likes to run around, really hard to bring down. I'm going to go hot and say it's unlikely. I'm going to say it's pretty unlikely. So Colts defense getting 3 sacks against the Steelers, going to say no. All right, LCCJS 27. Jonathan Taylor rushes for 130-plus yards and 2 TDs. Well, JT has been awesome. He's got over 100 yards in the last 2 weeks. He had 2 touchdowns last week. He had a day versus the Bears. He is a big reason why we won last week, and I don't know why Shane Steichen hasn't been feeding him more. Shane Steichen needs to give Jonathan Taylor the ball more. He hasn't. Give Jonathan Taylor the ball more, we will play much better. We will, Anthony Richardson will be in a much better spot. But, look, Mike Tomlin isn't stupid. The Steelers aren't stupid. That defense is elite. It's one of the best in the league. They're good against the run. They're good against the pass. That defense is incredible. And Mike Tomlin in that defense, like I was just saying, Mike Tomlin isn't stupid. He is not going to let Jonathan Taylor beat the Steelers. He is going to make Anthony Richardson beat the Steelers. Maybe Anthony Richardson can do it on the ground, but they're not going to let him. They're not, as hard as they're going to try, they're not going to let him. AR might get a couple big runs off here and there, but in big moments when we need Anthony Richardson to make that throw to, per se, that quick hitch to Pierce or the out route to Josh Downs where he sailed 20 yards over his head, last week. Very annoying. Would have been a first down, but I believe it was a turnover on downs. It was third or fourth down. Punted it, or it was a turnover on downs. I don't remember. But Jonathan Taylor rushing for 130 yards, man. With all that being said, I think that the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, I think he's going to really hone in on Jonathan Taylor and make Anthony Richardson beat him with precision. And Anthony Richardson has not proven he could do that. So that's what Mike Tomlin is going to do. And I'm not too sure if Anthony Richardson can win with precision and can win this football game. So Jonathan Taylor rushing for 130 plus yards and 2 T's. I'm going to go hot, man. I'm not going to go piping because there's a difference in knowing what you need to do and being able to. And the Steelers should be able to. But I have a lot of confidence in this offensive line. TJ Watt is going to be a pain in the neck. He is going to be hard to deal with. Defensive player of the year. He is playing that caliber as he does every year. Incredible player. Awesome player. Whenever he steps on the field, it's that Pittsburgh defense is 10 times better. But, in this Colts offensive line, man, I think this is the best offensive line in the league right now. I really do. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Colts fan. I really think this offensive line is the best in the league. And Jonathan Taylor rushing for 130 plus yards, 2 TDs. Possibility is there, but Mike Tomlin is going to have a really good game plan. He's seen it all. He knows what he's going to have to do, and his defensive players, they're going to be put in the right spots, and yeah, I really think they're going to try and make Anthony Richardson beat them, which I don't know if they could, and if he can't, they're not going to spread the defense out. They're not going to take guys out of the box. So I'm going to go hot. I'm going to go hot and say it's a bit unlikely. Well, all right, next one. Head at the table 23. The Vikings may win their division. Man, that division is loaded. The NFC North, that division is loaded. I mean, look at the Lions. I mean, the Lions are 2-1 coming off a big year last year. Looking pretty good this year so far. They've been a little sloppy this year, I'll be honest with you. But I just can't get over how good I saw the Lions play in that overtime game. In that overtime time versus the Rams. They were incredible. That was the most dominant. That Lions team in overtime was so dominant, it's not even funny. And if they can do that, if they could continue to do that, if they could start to do that more, the Lions are going to be a really difficult team to beat. Really difficult team to beat. So you got the Lions, and they still got to play the Lions twice, I think. I still think the Vikings have to play the Packers twice, and they're playing one of them this week. I think it's the Packers, which is going to be an awesome game. It might be the Lions. No. I think it's the Packers, but that's going to be a good game. I think Jordan Love will be back, and even without Jordan Love, the Packers have still looked like one of the better teams in the NFL. They just smoked the Titans. Titans, not really good, man. Losing to Malik Willis, not good. Allowing 30 points to Malik Willis, and Malik Willis just having a day. That's not good. Passing the football. I just feel like that Titans defense is very unaware. I don't think they have a lot of awareness. I think they're very naive to what's going on. They don't have the game awareness. But the Vikings win their division, man. I'm going to go warm and say it's a little unlikely because of how competitive it is. The Packers, who I think have Super Bowl aspirations. You have the Lions, who have been awesome. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from the Vikings and how good they have played. I mean, Sam Darnold has looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Never thought that sentence would come out of my mouth, but it just did. As it should. Sam Darnold has earned that lately. And Brian Flores has that defense flying all around, looking great, looking much better than I thought they would. The Vikings, I didn't think the Vikings were going to be a great team this year. Boy, have they proved me wrong. Now, will it keep up? We see a lot of times certain teams look really dominant, look really good the first couple weeks, and then kind of fall off as the season goes on, as more film is out, as more tape is out, and now teams have a blueprint, and now they know what they can do against this football team. I still think the Vikings will be good. I don't know if they're going to be as good. I don't know if they're going to be able to maintain what they have done. I mean, blowing out the Texans, beating the Niners, that's impressive. You can't take that away from them. And they beat up on the Giants pretty good, and I think the Giants are a very underrated football team. I think a lot of people can't get over the week 1 thing. And yeah, Daniel Jones is bad and the offense line is bad. So I guess that, that part of the argument is fair. But Daniel Jones has good football in him. It's just when are we don't see it enough. So, I mean, but the Vikings, man, they have just been awesome. They've been incredible. And winning their division, I'm not saying they're not going to be good the rest of the season. I don't think they're going to be as good. I think the best team in this division is either the Packers or the Lions. But right now, right at this very moment, it's the Vikings. But I think towards the end of the season, it will be the Packers or the Lions. If I had to choose one, the Packers. Because Jordan Love is elite. I'm not going to say elite, but he's very good. He's very good. Elite is way too far. Not there yet, but I think he is very good. So the Vikings win their division. Going to go warm and say, I'm not going to go hot and say no. Crazy no, it's not going to happen because I'm going to give them their flowers for the first couple weeks. You cannot take away beating the Niners and smoking the Texans. You cannot take that away from them, and I am not going to. So Vikings going to win their division. Warm, a little unlikely. All right, Red. Anthony Richardson has a comeback game after his 2-game slump and leads Colts to victory over the Steelers. So, what did I talk about earlier? Right? It's just I don't think Anthony Richardson can beat the Steelers on his own. And let me tell you what's going to happen in this game. Mike Tomlin's not stupid. The Steelers team is not stupid. It's one of the best franchises in the NFL. One of the most stable franchises. Mike Tomlin has seen it all. Awesome head coach. I think he's one of the better head coaches to ever do it, truly. How many head coaches can say that they've never had a losing season in the NFL? That is just freaking incredible. So, he is not going to let Jonathan Taylor beat him. He is going to hunker down against the run. He is going to load the box up. And he is going to say, hey, AR, beat us with your arm. Have some precision. I think there's going to be a lot of zone coverage from the Steelers in this game. Make AR read the defense. Make AR make tight throws, which he has not proven that he can do so far. Week 1 versus the Texans, he looked pretty good. He still had quite a few overthrows, and there were a couple of spots where, hey, you lay down the money, we probably win this football game. Unfortunately, I think Matt Gay missed a field goal too, which was pretty bad. One of the higher paid kickers in the league, and he hasn't looked good. So Anthony Richardson having a comeback game. I don't think it's going to happen versus the Steelers, man. I mean, this is too good of a defense. TJ Watt is going to come after him all day long. And they are just... Don't get me wrong, man. He's young. And I hope he turns into something great. But I'm not too sure he can. I'm not too sure he will. So, that is all you got for me today. For Anthony Richardson. No, okay. I mean, I don't think they're going to win this weekend, man. I think the Steelers' defensive line, they may not get a lot of pressure on AR. But AR hasn't proven that he could make those tight window throws. I don't even know if he could read a defense, 100% correctly yet. And, he's young for that, His football IQ isn't there yet. And no young quarterback can read a defense 100% correctly. So that was a little out there. I shouldn't have said that. But I think he's a little too far behind. And Mike Tomlin's going to confuse him with disguises and make him throw tight window throws and read the defense, make touch throws. And I don't know if AR could do that yet. Like I said, Tomlin is going to sell out to stop JT. And, he'll keep a couple guys over the top because he's seen AR's ability to throw over the top. So maybe that'll help keep the defense spread out a little bit with Alec Pierce and how well he has been downfield as well. But I just don't think that's going to be enough. I think the Steelers are going to know what they're doing. They're not going to let Jonathan Taylor beat them. They're not going to let AR beat them on the ground. AR will have a couple nice runs here and there, but it's not going to be enough. So, all right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Hot Take Tuesday. Episode 4 of Season 3 is officially coming to a close. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was a great time. A lot of good takes today. I had to re-record. I still got a good half an hour in of talking about these, so I'm happy about that. But I am very disappointed because the first one was about 50 minutes long, so I spent about an hour and a half talking so far already, and it's my fault, of course, but I have to get Hot Take Tuesday up. I cannot give up on it. No, Hot Take Tuesday is for you guys. It's for the fans, so I should be sleeping. I worked overnight, and it's about noon. I have to go in tonight as well, so I should probably get some sleep in, but I wanted to get this video up. We did do the giveaway in the first one. I did reach out to you, LCCJS27. So get back to me as soon as you can. If you like to be if you would like to participate in Hot Take Tuesday in the future, join that Discord server. If you would like to be entered into a giveaway, then the next giveaway will be next month, or the last episode of next month, which will be the last Tuesday for Hot Take Tuesday. Join that Discord server and participate, or become a member, and you are automatically entered into any giveaway. But remember, there are no purchases necessary to join this giveaway to have a chance to win some free stuff, like a free gift card, or we did a jersey and we did a shirt for the first week, so we really went all out for that. And then we're here back again. We did 2 giveaways in 2 weeks in 1 month. So you guys stick around for that. Thank you for tuning into the JDW Sports Talk Show. I had a great time talking about this. Even though it was the second time, I still had no problem talking about it for some reason. But it just shows you how passionate, how much I love Hot Take Tuesday. But all right, guys, that's it. JW Sports Talk Show. Make sure you like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on, share it to all your friends, football friends, whoever else, likes football, likes free stuff, giveaway, share it to them. But JW Sports Talk Show signing off. I will catch you guys next time.